Come on in and sit down. You cut the hardcore crew chewing the fat. You cut us shooting the shit. You cut us in the moment.
I've checked now. They're coming to like the Manchester MEN Arena and stuff, and it's a complete sellout. So unless you pay stupid amounts of money on the internet for a ticket, it's just not going to happen. But I'm going to look out for next time, and I'm going to make a sign with HWR on it.
Well, you know what, guys? We are in the moment, and before we get on to some of our topics, I do want to talk about last night's show. A couple of matches that we want to talk about. Fandango seems to finally be selling out to some of the fans, and now he wants to Fandango with his fans. Joe, what do you think about this? Do you think this is finally going to help him get over the fans, or you think this is going to fizzle out real quick?
Oh, it's going to fizzle out like his career. It's just something to try to revitalize him. They haven't seen him for some time. He's kind of that novelty guy. He's like the Honky Tonk Man 2K15. He's there just basically as a jobber. Fans get, let's face it, when the music hits, he comes out to his dance, and whoever he brings out, it's an interesting entrance. It's like Adam Rose's entrance. I love when he used to come out with all his little, lemons or rosebuds, and he used to have a good time with it. So Fandango's the same thing. He's just basically just for just shits and giggles.
Andy, I've noticed that your countrymen seem to really enjoy doing the Fandangoing.
I think what it is, that the trouble is, as we were just saying, I'm not sure if we were on air or not, but as we were saying earlier, the trouble with English people, they like a beer or two. And it's the sort of silliness that you'll probably do when you've had a few beers. I think that's what it is. I think whoever does the marketing for the WWE know that if they played, even like the Benny Hill theme, it's a wrestling match, somebody'd be running around slapping a bald-headed bloke, because they're up for a good time. When they go to watch wrestling in the UK, they're out for a good time, most of them, because they've had God knows how much beer. And it normally is cheaper than going into the local bars when you go to a wrestling event. The beer's probably half price, so you've had to pay to get in. So I suppose they use the assumption, well, they've had to pay to get in, so we'll make the beer cheap for them. So for some people, it's a good night out, and it's a cheap way of getting drunk, I suppose.
All right, well, let's move on. One of the, I guess, main matches, if you want to even call it, I guess it was supposed to be Seth Rollins. It wasn't really the title defense, but it was where he had to have a match with Kane. Lance, we talked about this with Billy during his show, WGSTV. What was your thoughts?
One, it was bullshit, but I also think this is sort of a way for them to start putting the mask back on him, because one, all you saw after that was him going through red, and normally with Kane around a red light, that's sort of his way of transforming back into the monster, but the match was shit.
The reason why they even had that match was that they added the stipulation if Seth Rollins win, he get to add a stipulation to the Extreme Rules match.
The thing is, are we going to actually see Seth Rollins actually defend the title for once?
I guess a legitimate contender, right?
But the thing is what does this make with Seth? What does this say about Seth? I mean, Seth Rollins could have beat Kane. Joe, we've talked earlier several times about how we think that Seth Rollins could be that transitional champion. You think they're deliberately making him look weak for that very purpose?
No, I think what they're trying to do is they're just trying to play up the heat on him. They're trying to do the mega heat. They're trying to see how they can get some reaction out of the crowd. So that's what you're seeing. And Kane's career is so far down the toilet, he'll do anything at this point. Putting the mask on him, it doesn't even make sense anymore, because he'll just take it off later.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with you. Putting the mask back on Kane is a moot point in his career. He just needs to retire, and I believe they even hinted at that during Raw, saying, I'm going to retire you, and I think that's coming very soon, and I'd like to see that happen. So, because Kane is just doing nothing, he's just looking like a bitch. We're going to fast forward up until the main event, where we saw it was called the Extreme Decision, where Seth Rollins comes out with Randy Orton. Seth Rollins pretty much banned Randy Orton's RKO, and Randy Orton, in turn, calls for the cage match. And I think this is just making, a really easy match for Seth Rollins. I mean, we've seen so many people scale the cage, and the fact that Randy Orton's finishing match, which has won him so many matches, is gone. This is just giving the match to Seth Rollins in my book.
The way they're doing this with the corporation giving him the easy wins and stipulations where he has to, they cutting off his opponent's finishers. It's generally they're not making the guy a strong champion. They're literally crippling their own champion, and this having the corporation in the storyline, okay, look, we'll do laydowns, we'll do any little things. It's just a waste of time with him. And to me, it looks like they're just going to use him up just to get his little, get the little bit of heat, and then they're going to wait to see who the fans really want to see as champion, and then they'll push him on. I think this is just for him to hold the belt, keep it warm, make him happy, say, hey, you had your time, now we're going to look at somebody else. And the only other person, and I said it many times on the show, the only other person that they can give the strap to is Roman Reigns, but that's too obvious in itself.
Lance, would you agree with that, disagree with that? What are your thoughts?
Well, but I have a thing where one or two things are going to happen. Either one, this is making him, it's kind of reminding me of how Triple H's evolution or the McMahon-Helmsley era, his title reigns then went because he would find any damn loophole to get the hell out of the keep the title except for a clean win. I kind of see this match. I kind of see going either Randy Orton's gonna hit an RKO and walk out thinking he's won. Triple H or somebody's gonna come down and say, no, you used the RKO, so therefore, still champion, Seth Rollins, or some shit like that.
James, your thoughts?
I agree with what Lance said. It's either, he's going to use the RKO, he won, or how, when Christian was the champion, it's he basically did, the stipulation, if you get disqualified or counted, then you will, lose the titles, basically, something like that. He's that cowardly heel. And basically, he's your top heel, yeah, I agree, kind of stupid, but, hell, he's your top heel in the company.
Alright. Joe, I believe you sent in some information on Taz.
Yeah, this is a Muppet News Flash. Dateline TNA. Well, we all know how that ship is sinking faster than the Titanic sunk. Well, apparently, I'm going off, I'm just ad-libbing it. I'm not going to sit down and read the whole thing here. But we all know TNAs have issues. We've all known that they never can fulfill the potential that they have. And, well, folks, it's at it again. Dixie Carter is having problem paying wrestlers. And apparently Taz took offense because he wasn't paid. He wasn't going to get on any flight to go to work. He wasn't going to do anything until he was paid. Rick, I'm going to tell you, this is a sure sign that not only is Destination America a failure for TNA, the company is slowly dying out when they can't meet their payments on these talent. Sooner or later, you're going to see more talent pulling away.
Well, I think we said this from day one when they went to Destination America, because Destination America, their numbers in viewerships went, cut in half? What does that say? It's just, it's a mistake, and it's another mistake after mistake after mistake this company has made, that Dixie has made. And it's a shame because the talent pool that they have is so incredible. It's just, the fact that she doesn't have a fucking clue what she's doing, and it's just going to be, this company is just going to go on. It's foolishness.
It's sounding very much like ECW was. Not being able to pay the talent. It's not a good state of affairs to be in.
Well, yeah, and I got to say, it's all me, Rick, and me and him have sat down. We have talked about this, for hours. The fans know how much I feel TNA could have done something better. But, guys, this is a sure sign.
Yeah.
Well,
And go ahead.
I'm gonna say this. Taz said some. Let's say he's gonna explain a lot of this stuff later on his Twitter, but also going to Destination America. There's been reports that Destination America is, getting involved with the booking because number one, they don't like how the fact that TNA did their tapings in the UK and they don't want anything outside the US. Number two, they want to have Kurt Angle to be the champion because of the Olympic gold medalist. And three, they want Taryn Terrell as Knockouts champion because of her looks.
But the problem is, it goes more than just that, as me and Joe's talked about this. The problem with Dixie is she does not advertise her wrestlers. She doesn't have her wrestlers and get out and talk with the public community, all right? The WWE does that all the time. They're always talking about all their outreach and how they talk with the public. Everything that, the Be a Star,
Make-A-Wish Foundation.
The Make-A-Wish Foundation. Everything that they do is just incredible. And that is how she has to start. Building other people and bringing people from the WWE, she should have take that money and try to keep the people that she lost. She should have kept people like AJ Styles. She should have kept people like Sting, who I'm sorry was TNA. She should have kept Samoa Joe. All these guys who left. Kaz. It's ridiculous how this woman thinks.
And she's now letting another company run to do with her company. Again, say what boys are going to be saying, oh, but it's okay. No worry. She knows what she's doing. She doesn't.
Why couldn't she strike up some deal with like independent companies? And
she is an independent company.
And like Ring of Honor and swap stars amongst themselves.
They tried that.
Come at it that way.
There's a reason why ROH won't let its stars go down there anymore.
She seems more interested now in promoting, and I can say this because I live in the country, she seems to be promoting with this British fucking challenge thing, wrestlers who, I live in the UK and I've never even heard of them. There are far better independent, indie wrestlers, part-time wrestlers than some of the shit she's got on her fucking independent show thing that she's British boot camp. None of them are any good. They're all shy.
Exactly. Her direction is completely way off. The money she should have spent, she should have spent money with Spike. She should have worked with Spike, try to keep in line with them, and you know what? Should have done other programs. Spike even said, hey, work within the company and have them help you, because she was with that TV show for 10 years?
Something like that.
And she day one, basically.
Yeah, and she was close to 1.0. Now she's less. I've been looking, and her numbers have been dropping. She can't even hit 500,000 people, and that's with reruns. It's ridiculous.
See, in the UK now, it hasn't even got a set date when it's on. They just seem to fill a time slot, and it can be on a Monday one week and a Wednesday the next week. And if I watch it Monday, and then next week TNA, I watch it, I switch it on, the opening credits come on, I think, oh, six-sided ring, they've gone back, and then I realise I'm watching the fucking Hardy Boys in a match, and it's came back 4 years ago, so
I have no problem with the Ross. I have no problem with the Ross.
It's all over the plot. It's like watching Raw this week, and then next week they can show Raw 1985.
I want to make one thing very, very clear. I have no problem with the roster, even to the roster today. The issue itself is, for one, is she's just the booking. She just hasn't got her fucking head straight.
No, it's not the roster. What it is, do you know when you watch, like, say Friends, and you watch episode 1, and then next week they show episode 7?
They're showing reruns. They're showing classic stuff.
Yeah, they're showing in the slot that should be TNA. I don't know whether they haven't done a show that particular week. I don't know how it works, but we get a new show. And then the following week, we get a rerun of something that's about 5 or 6 years old with a six-sided ring. Then the week after, we get a show that was recorded 2 weeks ago, so we know all the spoilers. That isn't a way run a company.
Yeah. I mean, they have returned to the six-sided rings, and the Hardy Boys, if I'm not mistaken, the Hardy Boys are with TNA.
Yes, they are. They are fighting for the tag team title.
Yeah, they're in the middle of a tag team title run.
How many times have we said on the show they should have gone back to the six-sided ring? And that was going back probably 2 years ago.
They're in the 6-sided ring. They have it.
Yeah, but we were asking for this 2 years ago. I mean, she's bringing it up now, 2 years too late.
I agree, but I mean, the problem is not just the ring. The ring is a part of the problem. She has so many other issues, and it's her booking, the way she works with the public. The Destination America is another problem. Just so many other issues. She can't get one thing straight. That's the problem.
She's got too many eggs, or she's got two finger in too many pies, and none of them are any good. It's like Vince with his XFL.
Yeah, exactly, and it's just one big fucking mistake, so, you know. All right, guys, well, I think we've ranted on this well enough.
Yeah, Rick, I was going to bring up something, if I can bring up something really quick. It's really important. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, Bobby Heenan, Gene Oakland had posted on his Twitter account that Hall of Famer Bobby Heenan, my favorite manager of all time, went into surgery today. They didn't specify what kind of surgery, but he had an important surgery done to him today. And as of 2:00 p.m., Gene said basically everything is all good, and Bobby's doing better. So I just want to take this time out to a guy who I admired and grew up watching, Bobby Heenan. All my best and prayers for the Heenan family, and I hope Bobby definitely pulls through.
Amen. Absolutely. Bobby Heenan probably was one of the best of commentators of all time. Him and Gorilla Monsoon was awesome.
I think, I could be wrong, but one of the rumours that I've seen on the British websites that he's got prostate cancer, or that's what he had, and they're removing his prostate. Is that the word? The thing that's up your ass. They're removing that. That's what he's got in for, prostate cancer. Which, I know it sounds an audible thing, and I'm not making light of it, but the good thing about having any kind of cancer is if it's prostate cancer, they can actually remove it, and it doesn't leave any trace, but it's not, I can't imagine it being much fun having your bumhole ripped apart, so...
It's called a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's one of them, if you're going to have cancer, it's probably the best place to have it, if there is a good place to have it. I'm not trying to make light out of it, because my father died of cancer, so I'm not ridiculing it in any way, shape or form, but I think he's on the good... If it is true and that's what he's had done, he's on the positive side of getting well soon. He won't have any relapse, or shouldn't have, apart from his age, which is not going for him. Can I just say something that I've just thought about when we were on about Seth Rollins?
Yep.
Has anyone seen a similarity between what Seth Rollins is doing and I can't remember what the group were called. We'll just call them DX for now. No, DX, because when Randy Orton was making a big name for himself, he was part of DX, I think it was. I don't think they were called
Evolution.
The Evolution. Can anyone see that Triple H is going to have the title for the last time, his last run? That's what they did with Randy Orton. That's what they did with Randy Orton. When Randy Orton got the title, Triple H shat on him and took the title off him, and I think it's a way that Triple H is going to hold the title one last time. That's only just dawned on me as we were chatting. Because the role, how they're running it is exactly the same.
I sure as hell hope not.
You know what? The thought crossed my mind because I saw how the way that Seth Rollins was becoming the same type of heel as Randy Orton, the same type of, avoiding the title.
Yeah.
But in the fact that he is hanging out with Triple H, but I think Triple H, even though that he is doing the high spots, I don't think he needs the title, because let's be realistic, he's the boss.
Yeah, well, we didn't think he'd need the fight with Sting, but he's just had to go there, and that's another. I don't know if you won't have the show running, but I've got a lot to say about the Sting thing at WrestleMania. Whether you want to do that for another show, but I've had a serious thought about what they did with Sting, and to me, I might as well say it on this show. We can always edit it out, otherwise. It was Vince's way, or even Triple H's way, of putting the nail on the coffin for the WCW. Because as much as I enjoyed the match, and as much as I enjoyed it for what it was, when you look at it, they made Sting look a complete douchebag by standing in the ring while we had a 10-minute entrance by Triple H. So it drew all the attention to Triple H and off Sting. Sting was prancing round the ring like a rookie. He didn't have a good entrance. Everyone was thinking, what the fuck have all these Chinese drummers got to do with Sting? And that's the big thing that's been going round. What the hell was that entrance all about? Thought Jimmy the Snooker was coming in. They take the title off him, or they take the match off him. Everyone thought Sting was going to win. And then at the end, they've had this feud. They hate each other with a passion. They wouldn't piss on each other if they're on fire. Then at the end, they shake hands. To me, that's the WWE shitting all over WCW, big style.
Well, and also I got to throw in, too, Triple H has a huge ego. He wants to be the one who gets all the big break. He wants to keep his name in there. He wants to keep everything. He could put Sting with anybody, but no, he has to put himself.
You're right. He could have put him with Zack Ryder. Goddammit.
Yeah.
You know what? And I'm not doubting Triple H's talent, but he's.
You could have put him with JTG.
No, let's not go that far.
Come on, why not?
But he could have been with anybody else.
He could have put him with Adam Rose.
Eugene.
With the bunny.
Exactly.
With the bunny.
Yeah.
But the point
come on.
is...
Let's be realistic. The bunny deserves to go over Sting. I think that's... Let's be realistic, goddammit. Come on. I think the bunny deserved that WrestleMania moment where he should have kicked the shit out of Sting. I think Triple H is being too goddamn greedy. You know what? You fans listening to this moment at HWR, I want your comments. Do you think the bunny should have beat Sting at WrestleMania? Please put your comments in the comment section below.
I'm going to copyright this next comment.
We want to hear the Blascully Wabbit.
I'm sorry. I just had to speak out. I just thought everybody was just being unfair about this.
I'm going to copyright this next statement before the WWEHOF because they seem to be pushing the bunny quite a bit, but the bunny hasn't got a finishing move, and I've come up with a finishing move for the bunny.
The rabbit hole?
They can call it the Thumper.
The Thumper?
Yeah,
from the car to Bambi.
He bumped his leg up and down really fast.
I called it
I am clearly not nearly smoking enough weed for this episode.
We called it...
Or maybe a little too much.
We're going to copyright that.
I can never smoke enough weed for this shit.
He's on a lot of
moving along, folks.
And he's on a lot of fuck it off tonight.
Yeah, I need more fuck it all. Moving along.
I don't know what cigarettes I'm smoking, but I don't think they're legitimate ones.
Yeah. Let's move on to the main topic of the night, guys. CM Punk was in a recent interview, and he decided, somewhere along the lines, he had called wrestling, and I guess the word was fake. And it really got a lot of people upset over the social media, and they really started to rant over the issues. And I think we should talk about this. I mean, obviously...
Where's that guy who says, it's still real to me, damn it?
It's still real to me, damn it! I mean...
Billy isn't on the call.
That's bad.
It's very clever, because what's it done? It's got the wrestling world hating him for a comment. Wrestlers hate him. Wrestling fans hate him. So he'll be going in UFC. Is he that stupid that wrestling fans won't watch UFC to see him probably win or lose, whatever the case may be? I think he's going to put up a good show. But everyone talks to him about wrestling. If he disassociates himself with wrestling, they're going to talk to him about UFC, and that's his issue at the moment.
And that's what it is.
He goes for a wrestling
to make that very
interview.
Clear.
Yeah, he goes for a UFC interview, and they bring up WWE. Now, if he drives this big wedge between him and wrestling, interviewers won't ask the question.
And I think that's what it was. Joe, another thing that you and I have talked about in the past is that several wrestlers transferred over to MMA, and they kind of did bash wrestling a little bit. I mean, we've seen Bobby Lashley do it in the past. We've seen Brock Lesnar do it in the past. Do you think that this was CM Punk starting to make that transition and starting to take a couple of bashes at wrestling?
Plus, it's a big payday for him. It's a chance to make a year, the amount that he makes in a year in WWE in one night. And they're gonna feed him the simpler guys. They're gonna feed him like guys who's gonna give him a good fight, but he's gonna get the win, and it's just gonna make him a more hotter commodity. And he's just going to do it whenever he feels like it. 3 months, 4 months, like boxing. boxing is today. You don't see the actual heavyweight title being defended unless the money's on the line. You know, unless somebody put in a whole bunch of millions to see a fight, no, you're not going to see the belt being defended. So Punk is going to feel into that same role. And let's face it, UFC, MMA, it's just glorified professional wrestling, just on a little bit more real scale. So, you know, the moves are real, the guys are really getting beat up, but it's professional wrestling. They got it right. I think that's why Dana White wants Brock back. I think that's why they're scouting to get wrestlers who are known to try to make them come into this world and try to take over. And Punk is good for this.
James, CM Punk, what was your thoughts when he made that statement?
It's just really, it's like, you hear the story, all the reports of, like, the suing and, like, why he left WWE and whatnot. It's just really him being him. It's like, you know, Punk's taking out his frustration, like, you know, it's fake. Why not? You know, he'll admit it, but, you know, it's just him saying it out of frustration. Because, basically, once he left WWE, he lost all passion for wrestling.
And, Lance, finally, over to you.
Well, my first thoughts when I heard this was, no shit. But, honestly, I think it's because if you looked at a couple of his interviews that he did, or the press conference, he's like, okay, I'm not doing any more damn wrestling questions again. It's just his way of getting people to quit asking him about damn wrestling, is how I see it.
Well, I'm going to say this. They could still ask questions now with the fact that...
He probably won't answer them.
With the fact now that his wife is now retired, they could still ask him questions now.
And you know what? Actually, James, you did bring up a good question. You know, with AJ gone, are they going to stop bringing up questions about why she retired? I mean, because obviously, you know, CM Punk was a wrestler, she's a wrestler, and now people are going to start asking even more questions. You think they're just going to leave it at that? All right, Joe, what do you think? Do you think that they're going to bring up questions about that, or do you think they're going to let that dog lie?
They're always going to bring up wrestling. Wrestling has, you know, and they've been in wrestling first. No matter what, they can go on to Rigging Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. They can go on to Dancing with the Stars. No matter what, they're always going to be asked about professional wrestling. It's something that you can never break away from fully. When you see Phillip Brooks, you don't see Phillip Brooks. You see CM Punk.
All right. Well, guys, I think we're going to wrap up this edition of In the Moment. We guys want to know what you think. What do you think about CM Punk? And, of course, what he thought about that, him calling wrestling fake. Was it out of context? Was that out of frustration? Or was it just maybe, of course, to draw more heat on him, to make him more relevant, or to keep him in the news? Please put your comments in the comments section below. And, of course, follow us over at Facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. And also, subscribe to us over at YouTube.com/HWR Show. We have the incomparable Lance Moss, and you can find him over at YouTube.com/Lance Moss TV. Lance, what do you got going on?
I got album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, redneck gourmet cooking videos, musical equipment reviews, some rants, the archives of controversies and scandals, and don't forget to subscribe over there. Don't forget to hit me up on Twitter. It's at LanceMossTV. I have one question for the panel, though. How long before we see a CM Punk press conference, some dumb son of a bitch asked, are we ever going to see AJ in the UFC?
Yeah, I can just wait for that one.
I don't think they allow minors into the in MMA.
Don't hold your breath.
I'm going to say this. Her... You know, how she is, I don't think she'll last in the UFC. Even if trained...
I'm just saying, how often till we see somebody ask him, when can we see...
I'll give it next press conference.
All right. Well, we have James in the Big Easy. James, where can we find you? What do you got going on?
I'm on twitch.tv/Fatboy504. I do PS4 gameplay. I'm actually about to go live, actually, just thinking about it. I'm also on youtube.com/JTD70129, and I do random videos. Oh yeah, I need to upload the what ifs for the one we did after the show we did last week, and then You can also find me at Twitter at Fatboy54.
All right. And, of course, we have the son of a bitch, Andy. Andy, what do you got going on? Where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me at www.stokehaunted.com, and I'm on an investigation this weekend for those of you that follow. I'm going back to the venue where I got that EVP, which is a ghost recording of someone saying Andrew, and if you can remember back a while, the one where I exploded with the expletives, it's the same venue, and we're there on Saturday. So if you go on www.stokehaunted.com, hopefully not next weekend, midweek, you'll more than likely see me losing the plot on webcam, on camera for everybody.
All right. And last and certainly not least, we have Joe from the CWA. Joe, what do you got going on?
Right now, we're just going to be updating our website. We're getting a couple of things. We're looking into getting our own building. I got a couple of things. I also have surgery coming up. It was supposed to be today, but they moved it for tomorrow. So I'm going to be kind of busy in that, folks. Maybe they're going to sew my mouth shut, finally. I think Dixie ordered it. But fans could follow me on Facebook at facebook.com, Joseph Knight Manager, or you could follow the CWA at facebook.com, Classic Wrestling Association, or you can visit our website at classicwrestlingassociation.com.
All right. So for everyone here, I'm your hardcore host, Rick Head, saying, we'll see you when we see you.
Thank you for listening to this edition of In the Moment. Make sure you follow us at any one of our locations, whether it's YouTube, Dailymotion, and now SoundCloud.com under the name HWR Show. Until the next time, this is your hardcore host, Rick Head, saying we'll see you when we see you.